How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video where we're going to be talking about all four division series matchups. It's going to be very exciting, especially with the series playoffs. We had some great and fun to watch wildcard games, and hopefully that continues up with the divisional series. Before we begin, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me because I'm hoping to one day build up my fan base. And, if Giraffe Nick Mark can gain this much attention doing this, I feel like I probably could too. So anyway, we're going to start off with the American League. We'll be going in with the first division series matchup, which is the Tampa Bay Rays against the Boston Red Sox. For the Red Sox, the biggest loss for them is going to be JD Martinez. He is out with an ankle injury. Don't know when he'll be back. There's a good chance he could probably be back in the series if it goes something like 4-5 games, if not the CS, but we don't know for certain if the Red Sox will make it to the ALCS. What we saw them really utilize in the wild card game was their hitting. Kyle Schwarber, especially, was their big deadline acquisition, and he's been playing really well for them so far. They also got guys like Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, and Alex Verdugo really powering that offense as well. Not to forget, Kike Hernandez is also a really strong option, and Hunter Renfroe has his moments with a great power bat and also a great glove. The main reason the Red Sox did win the game is because, of course, Nathan Eovaldi put on a great pitching performance. They went Eovaldi, Brazier, Robles, Whitlock. And I feel like they're going to need that pitching, especially if they want a chance against these Rays team. The main thing the Red Sox are going to have to rely on is can all their other pitchers pitch as effectively as they did during the wild card game? Because Garrett Whitlock is really the only guy out of the bullpen I really have faith in. Of their starting pitchers, I really like Chris Sale, Nate Eovaldi. Those are two, but Eovaldi's probably not going to be able to pitch till at least game 3. So you're relying on Chris Sale, probably Eduardo Rodriguez, Nick Pivetta. Biggest issue for the Red Sox is going to be that bullpen. Can they hold it together for as long as they have? They have good arms, but it's a question of can they stay consistent? Because truth be told, I still wouldn't trust Hansel Robles to be closing out a game. And then you have Tampa Bay, who is the only team in the American League to win 100 games. They have the best record in the American League, third best record in all of baseball. Truth be told, I feel like the Red Sox don't really have that much hope in this series, honestly. I feel like what the Rays do so well is that they know what your weaknesses are and they will exploit it to death. They know exactly what makes a team tick. They know exactly how to exploit that. Not to mention every single pitcher they get their hand on just becomes a god, and every single hitter they have can hit a clutch home run for whatever reason. They're going McClanahan game 1, Shane Baz game 2. Not sure if they've listed who their game 3 starter is yet. But when you get with the Tampa Bay Rays is elite pitching, and power hitters. In addition to McClanahan Baz, you also got Drew Rasmussen, who's been great since coming over from Milwaukee, Ryan Yarbrough, Michael Wacha, and Luis Patino. Really, all those guys have been fantastic so far this year. And then you got their bullpen where literally any of these guys you could call on. And we got Andrew Kittredge, Pete Fairbanks, Colin McHugh, JT Chargois, Josh Fleming, Matt Whistler, Chris Mazza. I mean, any of these guys, they can come in any situation and they'll get the job done immediately. Then you just want to talk about their hitting. I mean, catcher, it's probably going to be Mike Zunino, Francisco Mejia if need be. First base, you got Ji-Man Choi and Yandy Diaz. Second base, Brandon Lau. Ace, you're going to have Yandy Diaz. Shortstop, you got Wander Franco, who's been on a mission ever since being called up, even though he had a slow start. Outfield, you got guys like Austin Meadows, Randy Arozarena, Brett Phillips, of all people, Kevin Kiermaier, Manny Margot. I mean, any of these guys, they can beat you at any point. Not to forget their designated hitter, they also have Nelson Cruz. I mean, the Rays are a perfect team that they can utilize any of these guys to beat you at any point. And that's really why I think that the Rays have the advantage in the series. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to say Rays in 4. The Rays are winning the series. So it can be 3 games or 4 games. So really, it doesn't matter. Next matchup we have is the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox. And this is a series that I really think can go either way. I think this is going to be a 5-game series. I think that these two teams really match up well against each other, even though the regular season numbers don't show that. I think that as a healthy team, this White Sox team can go the distance. They're a World Series contending team. The only thing I'm unsure of is had they just been playing down to their competition because they were playing in easily the weakest division in all of baseball. But they have a quality team. Pitching side, you got Lucas Giolito as their ace. You also got pitchers like Lance Lynn, Carlos Rodon, Dylan Cease, even Dallas Keuchel, who's their fifth starter. He's still an effective option there, even as a fifth guy. Looking at their bullpen pitching, I mean, their closer is Liam Hendricks, who is arguably the best relief pitcher in baseball. You also got Craig Kimbrell. My only problem with him is that he has been pretty inconsistent since joining the White Sox, but I think that if he can get on his game, he's easily the most impactful player here. They also got effective arms like Garrett Crochet, Matt Foster, Ryan Tepera, Michael Kopech. I mean, they just have so many good options there. You want to talk about hitting? I mean, they got it all across the diamond. Got Yasmani Grandal at catcher, Jose Abreu at first, Cesar Hernandez, Yohan Moncada, Tim Anderson. Outfield, you got Jimenez, Robert, Leori Garcia. I mean, they just, I think, have a team that really works well together. When you match them up against the Astros, I think that they stand a better chance than people would think. For the Astros, their hitting is going to be what really drives them throughout this series. I mean, Yuli Gurriel, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman. That still very much is, in my mind, the best infield in baseball. You cannot deny that. And then you talk about the outfield, they got Kyle Tucker. He's a great player. Michael Brantley, also really great. Center field, they've been going with like Chas McCormick, who I'm not that impressed by, but he's still all right. And then designated hitter, of course, you got Yordan Alvarez, who just mashes the ball. I talk about pitching. I mean, they're not the most flashy names, but they're still great at getting the job done. They're going Lance McCullers Jr. game 1. I can't recall who they're going game 2, but those options is going to be Luis Garcia or Framber Valdez most likely. And then they also got Zach Greinke and Jake Odorizzi. And finally, there's their bullpen. You got Ryan Presley, who's been locked down as a closer, and they've also have Kendall Graveman, who's been a great pickup for them. And he's been having a great season. So yeah, between the White Sox and the Astros, which team do I think is going to win? And truth be told, I feel like the Astros are the better team, mainly because they've had to play better competition in their division across the season. I don't think that the White Sox are going to go easy. It just feels like the Astros are just better suited for this because they've been playing at a higher level all across the season. So I'm going to say the Houston Astros in 5 games are going to take the ALDS series. My ALCS matchup is going to be a rematch of 2020 Tampa Bay Rays, Houston Astros. Now let's hop on over to the NLDS, where we'll be talking about the first setup that we know, Atlanta Braves, Milwaukee Brewers. You have the Milwaukee Brewers who dominated the entire season, took the NL Central in convincing fashion. I truly was not sure that they could do it this year, but they proved me wrong. And they did it a lot on pitching. They're a pitching and defense first team. I mean, you look at their starting pitching, it's Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, Adrian Hauser, Eric Lauer. I mean, those guys were so much more shut down than I thought they would be. And of course, talk about the bullpen, about Josh Hader, Devin Williams, and all those guys, except they're not going to have Devin Williams because he was being an idiot during their celebration. That being said, I feel like my biggest problem with the Brewers is going to be their hitting. It was very underwhelming this season, and I'm not really impressed with what I've been seeing. There are a lot of guys that are power hitters that don't hit for good average, and I feel like that's probably why I'm not that big and impressed by what their hitting numbers are. But they have guys that if they get hot, then they're going to be basically unbeatable because give their pitchers a lead, they're going to shut you down. I mean, you got Omar Narvaez will be your catcher. First base, it's looking like it's going to be Daniel Vogelbach, Rowdy Tellez, Eduardo Escobar. Second base, you're going to have Colton Wong. Shortstop, Willy Adames, who has been the savior of this franchise, was not expecting him to be this good. And then third base, you can play Luis Urias. Outfield, it's going to be Avi Garcia, Lorenzo Cain, and Christian Yelich. The biggest concern is probably going to be, can Christian Yelich get on a hot streak? Because we know that if he can, they're basically unstoppable because he is being paid like an MVP, but he has not been playing like that since 2019, since that injury he suffered. But I think that this Brewers team definitely has what it takes to get to the World Series, but they need to keep playing at the same level they're on at the regular season. They did not have that impressive of September, so that worries me. The Atlanta Braves made this series mainly because they just won the NL East by default because every other team collapsed on themselves. Trust me, I know. I mean, they're not World Series contenders, probably because they don't have Ronald Acuna Jr. If Acuna Jr. doesn't get injured and Ozuna isn't a dumbass, they probably, I'd say, are World Series contenders. But they're not that impressive, even though their hot streak they've had towards the end of the season, it's really not impressive. They have the least amount of wins of all the teams in the playoffs this year, and really realistically should be a first round exit. The key to Atlanta is their hitting. Atlanta's hitting is going to need to outmatch Milwaukee's pitching, which is hard to do, but I feel like they have the capability of doing that. Because I mean, you got an amazing infield being Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, and Dansby Swanson. Then you jump over to their outfield. They're going to be mixing and matching a lot of guys that they bought at the deadline. Adam Duvall is definitely going to be in there. And I feel like the other two guys would be Jorge Soler and Jock Peterson. What scares me the most about the Braves, and not for a good thing, is going to be their pitching. I don't care what people say. A rotation of Max Fried, Ian Anderson, Charlie Morton, and Huascar Ynoa, that's not a World Series contending rotation. Max Fried and Ian Anderson are good, but they're not as good as Woodruff and Burns. You know what I'm saying? And also their bullpen is very inconsistent. The only thing they bought for there was Richard Rodriguez, and Will Smith has not been good as a closer this year. So really breaking it all down, who do I think is going to win? Milwaukee is very clearly the better team here. I feel like Milwaukee is the team that should win. But I feel like at some point during these playoffs, Milwaukee's pitching is going to fail them. I don't know when it will be. It's going to happen. I don't know which pitchers it'll be, but I feel like it's just going to happen. And truth be told, I just feel like the Braves are too hot right now. I feel like the Braves are probably going to win the series. So, yeah, I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to say the Braves in 5. I hate that. I want the Braves to lose. Believe me, I want the Braves to lose. But truth be told, I feel like the Braves are probably going to find a way to pull it out here. And finally, the probably most exciting division series matchup, the San Francisco Giants versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Before I start talking about the Dodgers, I would just like to say, just watch this clip. Outfield, it's insane. Mookie Betts and AJ Pollock are going to be two of them. Whoever the third one is, it's not going to matter. I don't know why I can't think of them at the top of my head.
Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Walk him off, Chris Taylor.
Yeah, this game can kind of be a bitch sometimes. Looking at this series, it's a battle between the two teams with the best records in baseball. You got the San Francisco Giants, who won the division with 107 wins, and then the Dodgers, who got second with 106 wins. The main thing was, like, no one expected the Giants to be this good. No one expected them to be good at all, for that matter. I mean, there is no reason for them to be good. They just are. It helps that all of their guys are having career years. It helps that Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt, and Buster Posey are all resurgent. It helps that Lamont Wade Jr., Mike Yastrzemski, Wilmer Flores, just all these depth guys they have just coming out of nowhere and just playing at their highest level. Not to mention, they also have really strong pitching with Kevin Gausman is resurgent, Anthony DeSclafani is resurgent, Alex Wood, Logan Webb. I mean, the list goes on, and like, it shouldn't make sense. Then you get to the bullpen, and literally none of this makes sense. This shouldn't be one of the best bullpens in baseball, yet it's been shutting offense down late in the game. You got Jake McGee, Harlan Garcia, Jose Alvarez, Dominic Leone, Zach Littell, Camilo Doval, Tyler Rogers. I mean, why is this team good? They shouldn't be. It makes no sense. Compare that to a team like the Dodgers, and like the Dodgers are just absolutely loaded. They should like wipe the floor with them. They have stars at literally every position. You got Will Smith, Trey Turner, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, Mookie Betts, AJ Pollock, Chris Taylor, Walker Buehler, Max Scherzer, Julio Urias, Kenley Jansen. I mean, the list goes on and on. Yeah, they lost Max Muncy and Clayton Kershaw, and that'll probably be a bigger fact down the road. But they have the depth to deal with it. They have the depth to deal with injuries like that. And truth be told, I think the Dodgers are going to pull out the series. I don't want them to. I hope the Dodgers get swept. But the truth is, like, the Dodgers are the better team here. I think it's going to catch up with the Giants. I think not having Brandon Belt is going to catch up to the Giants. That being said, I really hope we get a really good series. I think this is going to be a 5-game series. But I do think that in the end, the Dodgers are going to win it. For an NLCS matchup, another rematch of last year, Dodgers versus Braves. So those were my picks for this year's division series. Again, anything can happen, so who knows? If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll be making videos again for the NL and ALCS and as well as the World Series. Peace.